Decided to make another video about the Nikon D40. I know a lot of people have been asking about this and doing a review. I am up for a 2024 review of this awesome camera, and it is still a great camera to use. It was the first camera I had, and I don't think I'm gonna get rid of it. I have the 18-200 on it, probably say about early 2010s. This lens was like $300 all day long. Now you can find this lens for about 100 bucks, which is pretty awesome. I do like it. This Nikon D40 has a 6 megapixel CCD crop sensor. I see a deer way over there. I'm gonna try to take a picture of it because of the 18-200. See how this goes. It's not bad. You see how far I am. It does not have live view, but don't know if you can see, it's way over there. This is 18. I'm gonna show you. Oh, I'm gonna zoom in all the way. That is 200. And I don't think I'm gonna get rid of it anytime soon, because when I sold it, I actually sold this one for the D90, sold the D90 for the D700, and coming back to it now is just brings back a lot of memories of just using this beast. I really do like how simple it is. This thing only has 3 autofocus points. 3. It shoots at, let's see if I can get it here, ISO 200, 400, 800, 1600, high 1, and I think that is 3200. That's it. That's all you're gonna get from this camera. I know other cameras you can go from like 100 all the way up to like 25,600. Very simple camera. That's how easy it is. 3 autofocus points. Pretty nice. It's a decent autofocus system. Right now I have AFS right now, but you can use it for AFC if you wanted to. Using it for a basic camera is very, very nice. I just went to Japan with this camera and it felt really nice with the 45 on it. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this reviews, because you can actually just, people talk about the specs all day and stuff and they don't really show pictures. I just want to come out here and talk about my experience with the D40, because I know a lot of people are really worried about spending a lot of money. Let's just talk about the cost of this. I've got this camera used on Craigslist for 40 bucks, and it also came with the 1855. It was from some lady. She never used it and she decided to sell it because she just never used it. So on, I want to say it was Craigslist, and this was a few years ago. I think it was either on Craigslist or Facebook Market. Found it locally, $40. She did not use it. The battery was bad. Thankfully I had a D60 battery for it, so I was using a D60, and yeah. And for 40 bucks, I looked at the shutter. I think this was a shutter count right here. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but this is the shutter count now. Had an SD card. I think it was like a 4 gigabyte one. Right now I have a SanDisk Ultra 8 gigabyte one. This one isn't bad. It does read pretty quickly for the D40. I believe this is probably the highest gigabyte this camera will record, because I haven't tried the 16 gigabyte. I know that the 2, 4, 8 gigabyte cards will work. I haven't tried the 16 or 64. But you know what, hey, I'll just try it out right now. All right, I am trying the 16 gigabyte from Lexar. It's kind of an old card, but it does work. So you can see that 1.5K, that means the memory card works. Trying the 64 Extreme Plus Pro. 0, that means it does not work. 64 gigabytes, that's a bummer. It says card is full, which it is not. It is not full. I just formatted it, but it doesn't look like it will read 64 gigabytes. It does have 1 memory card slot too, in case you're wondering. It doesn't have 2. Again, I want to say this is a very entry-level camera. This was one of Nikon's first entry-level cameras. Yes, you can use it for weddings if you want to, if you're really desperate, but it will be really hard, really difficult to use, just because it's really limited on autofocus speeds and low light conditions. Would I recommend it? Probably not for wedding, but if you're doing portraits, it's not bad. Anything fast action moving, it will have some trouble, but if you are using it for portraits, it's not a bad camera for portraits. For family events, it's not bad too, but if you have a fast moving subject or kids running around, you're gonna have some challenge with this one. Like I said, I brought this one to Tokyo, just walking around the town and just taking pictures with it. Fabulous, fabulous. This is like a classic camera. I think it's considered a classic now just because of how old it is. What do you guys think? What do you guys consider an old DSLR? Let me know in the comments. I did find out that you can change these buttons to be ISO or timer. I changed this FN button right here to be a ISO button. So if you press it, you can change the ISO. That way you don't have to keep going to the menu and changing it that way. It's just one button, switching it right there. And I'm gonna stick on ISO 400 for now. Right now my settings are, if I zoom it in, I think I'm gonna go up to, let's see, f5. I don't know if 5.6 is at 200 millimeter range, but I'm gonna start at f5. I think for animals or birds, it's gonna be pretty hard. You definitely need a faster lens. So this bird is between bushes right here. I'll show you examples of pictures here. It's really hard to get focused just because I don't have a telephoto lens, so it's hard to get focus on this bird. It's really hard. It's not coming out good, but if you're taking a picture of a still image, it's gonna suffer a bit. But if you're on AFS, it'll lock on. But AFS only works if you're on a still subject and you move around, but you can't move back and forth. If you move side to side like this, you should be okay, but if you're moving forwards or backwards, it's going to change the focus point. So just remember that if you're shooting in AFS mode, you can move a side to side a little bit, it'll help. If you're moving front to back with AFS, you're gonna lose that focus point. When I was using it in Japan, I really did like using it just because of how easy it was. 3 autofocus points, minimal changes. Autofocus was not forgiving, so it's one of the things where you have to really understand the camera settings to get the shot you want. And I liked it just because you just had to slow down a lot more and really enjoy and really watch what you wanted to take a picture of. This camera makes you, I wouldn't say it forces you, but it makes you work for the image, which is nice. But if you don't like working for your image and you just want to spray and pray, more to you. But I feel like this one definitely makes you a more patient person, because when I was using my Z6 in Japan compared to my D40, the Z6 was great, not gonna lie. It was an excellent street camera and such, but the D40, I just felt like I could use it more for certain situations. Whereas the Z6, I was like, oh, I'll just get that picture, I know I can get it. But the Z with the D40 in my hands, you know, you had to work for it. You had to make sure your settings were correct and make sure your autofocus is correct as well. One of the reasons why I like the D40 in Japan, it was lightweight, it's kind of pretty compact. Even with the 18-200, as you can see, it's not going to fit your pockets. But I mean, I don't know, I have not seen anyone carry a camera in their pockets. People keep talking about that, like, oh yeah, it's gonna fit right in my pocket. I don't understand why, especially if you're traveling, that you're gonna put a camera in your pocket. That's why your phone is there. You know, you can use your phone, but if you want something better, I think this is a camera that you want if you're traveling. You know, something small, easy to use, and you can just put it in auto mode and just kind of really enjoy the shot that you want. And especially if you know what you're doing in manual mode, this is gonna be a very fun camera just because of how simple it is. All right, I have VR on. I don't know how good it is. This is at 135 millimeters. The screen looks great. The colors from it look amazing. Coming back to the price of it too, like I said, if you're on a budget, or if you know someone that's on a budget and you want to give it to somebody, the D40, yes, it's old, but for the price you pay and the lens you invest on it, it will help that new photographer to the next steps. You don't need to buy like a $1,000 camera and start with that. Save your money, get a entry-level DSLR. It's not old. Well, it is old, yes, but it is still a very capable camera. Like I said, I brought this to Tokyo and got great images with it. you're better off investing on a better lens with this D40, and you'll definitely get better image quality compared to like a new camera. You know, because I see people that get like the Sony A5000s or the Sony A6000s, and they're just like, oh, I just want to move up to full frame. But it's like, why? When you haven't even invested on like cheap prime lens or a $500 lens. And now today, with the prices of lenses, they're getting pretty cheap now too. You can probably find like a Tamron or a Sigma version of this one for maybe $100. I'm just sticking with Nikon just because I'm more familiar with Nikon. That's one of the reasons why I will always suggest and a proponent for these cameras. It's just because you can find one for cheap and you can basically learn to grow with it. And you can tell people that, you know, you didn't spend thousands upon thousands for a nice camera that will probably give you decent images. So let me know in the comments what camera you started out with, because I would like to know. Because starting out with this one, it was pretty good. Let's see. Oh, I pooped. I think I'm at ISO 800 now. This is definitely not good for birding. It is really hard. This is like black on black right now, so it's hard to get focus on this bird. I'm gonna try and kneel down and see if I can get it in focus. There you go. A little better. But as you can see, for backlighting, I don't know if it's just Nikon, but for this one, with the settings I have, it's probably not that good. But overall, you'll definitely not get fast action, but it's doable. It's doable. Caught it mid-flight. Anyways, going back to the good old D40, let's talk about how versatile it is. It's small, literally the size of my palm, my hand right here. Look at that. A very versatile camera. I do have the 51.8G with me, but right now I'm just using the 18-200 because it's a very fun lens. If you want to purchase it, I'll have a link in the descriptions below. But yeah, the D40 is definitely one I would recommend, especially if you're a brand new photographer. I'm just gonna go back to talking about why it's a great starter. Like I said, if you're on a tight budget, or you know someone's on a tight budget, it's a good starter camera. Don't let people persuade you to buy like a $500 camera, or if there's a camera that's over your budget, this is perfectly fine. Find one for under $100, get a $100 lens like a Yongnuo 51.8 and start out with that. You'll be in good hands. Oh, there's a lot of mosquitoes out here though. Getting bit. I'm gonna go back. All right. One thing that I think you should understand before you use the Nikon D40 is the autofocus settings. So there are a few autofocus settings that you should know and understand to really utilize the D40. Like I said earlier, it does have AFA, which is, you know, it will switch in between autofocus, AFC, and AFS. So if you're shooting for stills, it will automatically focus for that. AFS is just for like right here, this landscape right here. AFC is for sports, so it's autofocus continuous, meaning it will continuously autofocus on a subject that's moving, and then manual focus. So once you understand those three, you can basically utilize the D40 a lot more for the type of photography that you're doing. So if you're doing portraits and the subject standing still, I would definitely do AFS. If you're doing a moving subject like a car or something like that, or sports, AFC would be the one to go to. But if you're just walking around town and you just want to take a picture of the whole scenery, AFA is what I would choose. And especially if you're brand new to photography, I would stick with AFA unless you want to take a photo of something specific like a car or portraits. Right now, like I said, I like choosing AFS because I get to choose where I want to take pictures. You know, another thing I really like about the D40 is the image quality that's coming from it. If you are using, I'm at ISO 400 right now. I am using the 18-200. The aperture right now is at f5.6 and the shutter is at 60. And if you're using the 18-200 with a zoom lens like this, if you're shooting at 60, it's going to be a little shaky, even with the VR. I mean, the exposure looks good, but I think when I look on a computer, it's going to be a little shaky. Move up to about 160 of the shutter. It is pretty dark, so I'm going to boost it up to 800. Helps a little bit, but not that good. I think that's the only downside with the D40 is a low light right now. It is a little low, but again, I am using a low aperture lens, at 5.6 at 200. So let's see, this is at 18 millimeters. And zoom all the way at 200. There you go. That's the difference. One of the reasons why I like this lens combo, if you're just walking around town and you want to capture something, you can actually stop here, take a picture of this whole pole if you wanted to. Step back just a little bit. Boom, that's a shot. If you want to get a picture, a unique picture, the flag, boom, just like that, close up. Easy as that. It's one of the reasons why I'll always recommend an 18-200 for a new photographer or someone that just wants to go travel and you're just wanting a great overall lens. This is the lens to get. This is probably one of my most favorite lenses. I've talked about this lens a lot, but this is the 50 1.8G. This is my third one. And look how compact this lens is, dude. I like it. But with the D40, it does become a, I think, 75 millimeter focal length because of the crop sensor. 75 or something like that, close to that. But one of the advantages of the 50 1.8 is the higher aperture. You can go all the way to f1.8. You get that nice blur. Let's see. I'll just show you here. You get that really nice blur effect, which is the bokeh. I know a lot of people use this tree as an example to get that blur, but I'll just show you here. That's nice. Want to get like pictures of flowers up here. It's not bad at all. I'll also say that the best time to shoot is golden hour, and right now it is probably about prime golden hour right now. I don't know if my GoPro will catch this, but I would say this is about golden hour with all the clouds and such. This is pretty close to golden hour. This is probably right where the colors are really nice right now. That shot. I'm just gonna see if I can show you the bokeh from this. You see the foreground, background with that one, blur the front like that. I think the quality, the image quality from these are amazing too. That's what I really like. I'm gonna go up to like f2. Man, I really like the CCD sensor. From here, it looks amazing. Again, just to show the bokeh. It's really nice. I like it. Hey everyone, so my GoPro died and that was all the footage I got. Is it still a good camera in 2024? Yes, it still is. As you saw in this video, it's still a very capable camera when you put a decent lens on it. For the price, it's really hard to beat too. I got this for $40 and my lens here, the 50 1.8G, I got it online for about $120 used. And if you still have your D40, leave a comment below and let others know your thoughts on it too. It's still a really nice camera for those that are on a budget too. And I would really recommend this camera if you really want to stretch out your comfort zone outside of your phone camera too. This is an excellent camera to learn with. Will it produce better quality images than the iPhone or the latest Samsung or latest cell phone out there? That's another video for another time. But I did do a portraits video on my channel with the D40, so check that out too. And if you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. I love my D40. I don't think I'm ever gonna let it go, just like the Nikon 50 1.8G. Like I said in my video, this is my third one, and this is my first and last Nikon D40 that I'll ever get. So if you have any questions about the D40, leave a comment below or ask in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer and help out. I just want to say thanks for watching this video. I got to this end. I really, really appreciate you watching. Thanks.